Hey guys, Pug here. Today I'm bringing you a broad guide for Pokemon Unite. For those that are not familiar, Pokemon Unite is a new MOBA that just came out for the Nintendo Switch. It is Pokemon styled, obviously. It has been a lot of fun to play. It's overall a really fun game. I'd recommend it to anyone that is into MOBA, and even if you're not into MOBAs. Again, it's a fun game to play. So in this guide, I'm going to basically go over what the overview of the game is, what are the objectives, the different roles, items, how the game works, and just my overall thoughts of what I think about the game. If you guys like this content or like the game and like Pokemon Unite type of content, I'm going to be making a lot more Pokemon Unite content. So make sure you either follow my stream or follow the channel, subscribe, whatever it is that, do the whole YouTube thing. Anyways, without further ado, let's just get into the guide. So what is the objective of Pokemon Unite? Unlike other MOBAs, Pokemon Unite is based around 10-minute games. So there's a timer, and so it doesn't matter what happens in the game. At the end of the 10 minutes, the game will be over. The objective is then to score as many points as you can on the enemy's towers, per se. We can call them towers. And once you've scored so many points on either the exterior towers or the interior towers, they will break, and then the enemy's core, quote unquote, will be exposed. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how many points or how many towers you destroy or if you get to the core or not. What matters is how many points you score. So unlike other MOBAs where like the goal is to destroy the enemy core, here the goal is to score points. And how do we get points? In Pokemon Unite, the way you get points is by killing the wild Pokemon, which are neutral to both factions. So there is actually no NPCs that are friendly to your faction. There's just wild Pokemon, you and the enemy. This makes the game actually interesting in ways that Dota is interesting, where you can have deny mechanics so that you can deny the enemy XP on their own minions, or quote unquote their own minions, what they should be getting for XP. This makes the game, I think, more competitive, and it is actually one of the things that I enjoy more about the competitive aspect about Pokemon Unite. Another big difference between Pokemon Unite and the other MOBAs is generally you're talking about 3 lanes and a jungler. In Pokemon Unite, you have 2 lanes and a jungler. So you have a top lane, a bottom lane, the jungle, and usually have 5 players to a team, and different Pokemon will be good at obviously different roles. So when it comes to roles, for those that are not familiar, I think I've mentioned it before in the video, but there is your top laner, your bottom laner, and your kind of middle lane or jungler in this case, I guess we could call it. They have different jobs per se that they have to perform during the game. The top and the bottom lane, their job is to protect the objectives, so protect the external towers, protect the internal towers, and help secure the extra mobs that come up. So Rotom on the top and the turtle guy on the bottom. This will provide different bonuses for the team. So when you kill Rotom, he will become an ally to your team and he will push the lane per se. So he will be walking down the lane, and if he reaches an enemy tower, the enemy tower will become disabled, and you will be able to automatically score points without having to channel into them. If you kill the turtle guy on the bottom side, your entire team will get a large chunk of experience and will get some large shields. This could be game changing for lanes that are behind, for example. It will help them catch up in XP. It may be game changing if somebody is in a duel or in a small skirmish. Those shields might just be lifesaver and turn around the tide of battle for them. So it could be very situational. The jungler, his job is to go through the different lanes to kill the stuff in the middle and obviously level up as fast as he can, clear the NPCs in the middle, and use the buffs to help either secure top side Rotom or bottom side Turtle Dude, and help score points. So generally speaking, the jungler is kind of like a position that has a lot of impact on the game and is able to help struggling lanes catch up to the enemy or lanes that are ahead to further push that lead and secure victories for their team. So the top and bottom, again, the game doesn't have a meta yet. So what I'm saying is just based on my experience. But for the top and bottom, there is usually a support Pokemon and there is a offensive Pokemon. The support Pokemon could be something like Snorlax or Slowbro that either heals, CC, crowd controls, or CCs, or is able to put pressure on the enemy team or protect their allies, whereas the offensive Pokemon is just there to do damage. So generally speaking, you want to pair up the bottom and the top and bottom lanes with a support Pokemon and a offensive Pokemon, so that the support Pokemon is able to help the offensive Pokemon secure that damage, secure those kills. It's not that one is better than the other one, but one of them is, they have different jobs and they just help each other, right? Each part, this is a well-tuned machine, and each part is very important for it to work together, kind of thing. So yeah, I think when it comes to roles, that is the basics of the roles. It does seem that the developers have in mind that people will want to create these roles, and they have in mind that, you know, different Pokemon are going to be better at different things. So they have actually provided some guidance as to where Pokemon should go, quote unquote. And this is not a hard rule of where the Pokemon is going to be best or not. As I found with different games, is that the community will make its own meta, right? We will find that Pokemon that maybe were designed to be junglers end up being great bottom laners or top laners, and vice versa. So take that with a grain of salt, but it's an idea of what the developers maybe intend or were thinking when designing the different Pokemon abilities and the different parts of the game. Yeah, so coming out from roles now, how does the game differ in terms of itemization from other MOBAs? It is interesting because in this game, like Heroes of the Storm, there is no items. So you're playing your character, and the goal is to get experience and level up your abilities so you can be stronger than the enemy and beat them that way. However, unlike Heroes of the Storm, this game has items, and they exist in two forms. First, you have your held items. These are items that provide permanent buffs, or maybe some neat trick or ability, or they do something passively for you throughout the game. And then you have active items, and these are kind of like your potions. There's a flash item if you're familiar with League of Legends. There is defensive items. There's all sorts of items to do that. So you can have 1 active items and up to 3 held items per Pokemon, or per game per se. So these items can be leveled up, or I might say the held items can be leveled up to level 30, I believe, or level 40. And at different level tiers, they will provide stronger bonuses. So level 10 and level 20 will be providing different bonuses or stronger bonuses. And then after that, it's just a level up to make it stronger, quote unquote. These items are leveled up through upgrade leveler item type things, and these are bought with either tickets or crystals. I recommend that you save all your tickets to buy the upgrade items, and then you use your coins to buy either the Pokemon or the items that you actually want to get. I also recommend that in terms of what you want to buy or level up, is you find a role or a type of game style that you like, and then see what Pokemon's playing that role or type of game style, and see what items those Pokemons need. So for example, I really enjoyed Gardevoir, I really enjoy Gengar, so I kind of noticed a pattern there. I really like the special attacker Pokemon, so I focused on getting all my special attack items to level 20, because level 20 is really where you get the major power spike, and that should be actually the goal for everyone. Overall is to have your items at level 20 to get kind of like the most bang for your tickets type thing. So scoring points in Pokemon Unite, how is it done? Well, pretty much how it's done is you kill some wild Pokemon, you get some of these little Pokeballs that you see right here, and then once you have so many, or even one, you can just take one, but once you have a good amount of Pokeballs, ideally you go into one of the towers, hopefully it's not guarded, and then you can just press the X button and dunk some points in. It's pretty simple. The concept is pretty simple, however, there's a cast time to it, and the cast is interrupted by damage. So if you take damage, an enemy Pokemon damages you while you're putting it in, it's over, right? You gotta start the cast over again. I think it's about 1.5 seconds to second cast, depending on how many Pokeballs you have. The more Pokeballs you have, the longer the cast is gonna be. So early in the game, it is in your advantage to try to get in as many points as you can into these towers before you accumulate too many, or else it's going to start becoming more difficult to put the points in. When you put the points in, you get some health back, you get some experience, and yeah, that's the basics. As you can see in the map, you have different Pokemons that are going to be active at different times. So let's start when you begin the game. The Ipons that are on the purple route between 3, 2, and 1 are going to be all active. So this is kind of your initial experience. If you get the killing blow on a Pokemon, you get more experience than if you don't get the killing blow. And you get experience based on how many times you hit the Pokemon. So ideally, the Pokemon that are going to be stronger earlier or going to be hitting their power spikes earlier are going to be able to get, the killing blow on these Pokemon so that they can get their power spikes and help you push and win the game, right? There is no point in, for example, having a Route get the killing blow on all these Pokemon when its first power spike doesn't come till level 7, and that's gonna be probably 2-3 minutes well into the game. Whereas other Pokemon, like maybe Pikachu, can have a pretty strong power spike at level 5 or at level 3. So this is something to think about, where we can think about who's getting the killing blow, and should you be letting another Pokemon get the killing blow, or should you get the killing blow. So outside of the starter Pokemon, the bees in the center between top and bottom lane will spawn about, I believe, 2 or 3 minutes into the game. Can't really recall, but this is a big objective that you will be fighting over against the enemy team, obviously. I would prioritize getting these, obviously not over dying, but getting killing blows on these. The Audinos that you see on the top and bottom lane, or on the bottom lane alone, are going to be on from the beginning. So usually on the bottom lane, what we'll do is you get your Ipons, and then you are going to face check this top one, and if the enemy team doesn't want to take it, you are going to try to take that. Otherwise, you want to take obviously your bottom two and try to protect your Pokemon so that they're not taken by the enemy and they get the XP. When it comes to the jungle, the dog is going to be the first Pokemon. This little Lilip dog guy over here is going to be the first Pokemon that you're going to want to take. He will actually path towards Ludicolo when he's engaged in combat. And Ludicolo, when killed, will give you a blue buff. This blue buff lets you do more damage to enemy Pokemon. Or not enemy Pokemon, but NPC Pokemon. So once you kill Ludicolo, you're going to want to come down to the Buffalo guy. Kill him. He gives you a buff against players. It slows them when you hit them. And then the other two core fish that you see by Ludicolo and Buffland will actually not be active until second tower is down. So you will be wanting to take the two core fish towards the middle. And then at this point, you can look around and see where the lanes are at, and maybe try to either help top or bottom, or try to sneak in your points into one of the towers if one of the enemy lanes is pushed up forward too much, etc, etc, right? So the big buff Pokemon, let's talk about those real quick, and then we'll talk about how the game changes as towers come down. So first we have Rotom on the top. He, when killed, will walk towards the enemy lane, and if he reaches a tower, the tower will become disabled, meaning it won't heal your enemies, it won't give them shields, and it will actually make it so that you don't have to charge while scoring into that base. This is a pretty good buff for pushing a lane, but I don't think it's the most important buff that comes up between that one, because the other one that comes up at the same time is Turtle Guy on the bottom side, and Turtle Guy gives everybody a lot of XP and gives the entire team a shield. So XP is really, really important in this game. I cannot emphasize how important experience is, because there's no items, no gold, or like no in-game items, no gold. The progression is all in experience, and right, having more experience means that you're stronger than the enemy, and that's how you win games. So this guy, basically, if you are not actively trying to kill him every time he comes up, you are throwing the game. I think that's like probably the most important thing. If you take anything out of this video, is if you're not actively trying to kill Turtle Guy, you're kind of throwing the game. So yeah, and then the last buff Pokemon that comes out is Zapdos. He comes out when there's about 2 minutes left in the game, and whichever team kills him will make it so that all their bases will be disabled, and he will make it so that all points scored into those bases are doubled. This Pokemon can be game changing, so generally speaking, by the time you get that 2-minute mark, you will have scored maybe 200-300 points into an enemy base if you're doing well, maybe 400 points. If with Zapdos, an enemy that's behind 400 points, right, assuming all of the bases of, like, let's do some quick math, right? Assuming all your bases are up, the enemy hasn't taken any of your bases. If they, for some reason, were to wipe you at 2 minutes, kill the Zapdos, and score, each player score in your base, you are at 400 points, they would be able to score 500 points maximum in your bases. So it could literally turn the game around for you. It could go from a strong win to a lose in just a matter of seconds. So Zapdos, the most important objective in the entire game, because even if you're winning, it will lose you the game. Not ignoring Zapdos will lose you the game. All right, so those are the big buff Pokemon that come up through the game. So think about them as Baron or Dragon in League of Legends. So as the game progresses, more enemy or more NPC Pokemon will become available. Once first tower comes down, the Audinos that are on the side lanes will become active. This actually helps the enemy team catch up in XP because they'll have quick access to them. And as the game also progresses, the core fish in the middle will also become active, and the core fish near the buff Pokemon will become active as well. Dog Guy will only be active once at the beginning of the game, so he'll never respawn. And the B-Boys will also appear in between the towers once the towers start coming down. So a lot of, as the game progresses, a lot more XP starts becoming available throughout the map. It's important to be aware of where these things are at, because if you're behind, it is very important that what you want to do is to farm XP and not to fight the enemy, because you are behind, right? Don't keep giving them that lead if you're behind. And yep, so I think that kind of covers the brief overview of what the overall map for Pokemon Unite is like. Some final remarks about the game. I've seen a lot of commentary online, a lot of criticism about the game being pay to win. And so I'll just give my 2 cents here. The items are relevant, there's no doubt about it. They are impactful to the game, there's no doubt about it. However, to say that the game is pay to win, I think is maybe a stretch. Because for one, I would say that between the daily missions and objectives and the beginning objectives that you have in the game, you have very much enough tickets to level up held items high enough to be able to get a good set of level 20s. So if you're into attack damage or special attackers or tanks or supports, right, pick the role that you want and focus on leveling up those items. Eventually you'll get all the items, but can you use money to level up all the items? Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. And maybe that's a flaw with the game. However, I don't see it as a huge impediment to my progression in the game. I think I've made it up to veteran already. So again, it's not a huge impediment. Pick what you like to play. Playing the game, actually, mechanically speaking, playing the game is more important than focusing on maxing your character, right? Learn how to play the characters that you like to play, and I promise that you will do good. Second remark that I have for the game is it is a lot of fun. I recommend you, the base controllers are not the greatest, so I recommend you mess around with the base controllers and try to find a setup that you enjoy, that your fingers feel comfortable with. And yeah, the last remark that I have is that have fun. The game is a lot of fun. There is a very fun competitive scene. The fact that the games are 10 minutes makes it so that you are not, even if you have a bad game, you're not tilted for too long, right? So just have fun. The game is a ton of fun. Make sure that you are looking at the missions. There's different types of missions. There's challenges available. There's quick play. Play around with the game, because almost every activity, any activity that you will do in the game will reward you either in gold or cosmetics or somehow for you to make it feel that your time is worth it. Alright guys, so if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching the video. If you enjoy this kind of content, just subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting a lot more stuff out on Pokemon Unite. If you wanna follow up on my stream, you can find the links down below. I'll try to stream almost every night, maybe not every night because I also have World of Warcraft commitments going on right now, but yeah, almost all my free time will be spent on this game. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, guys.